2 defeats from 2. It's not looking good, is it? In fact, I'll go as far to say it's a pathetic state of affairs. Hello everybody, it's JB here, and well, we've succumbed again. We lost 2-1 to Brighton when we should have won it last week. We absolutely were clueless for the second half of that game, even though we were robbed a little bit by the referee. But that's gone now. Yesterday we played Liverpool. We actually played okay. The problem was we were defensively rubbish on the 2 goals. Barnes had a goal rightly chalked out for offside. I have to say Liverpool took their goals extremely well. Give them their fair dues. They were the better side and deserve 3 points. But it's not the defeat I'm going to talk about today. It's the bench. It's our lack of squad depth and what DYCHE is actually doing. I'm not so sure now it's Alan Pater's fault. I mean, I've just listened to an interview with Sean DYCHE yesterday. Well, we have the financial clout. We've got a bit more financial clout. It's trying to find the right players. What players are you trying to find, Sean? Are they defensive-minded players? I am sick to death. I'll be honest with you. For the last 2 seasons, your tactics have actually stunk, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to slag you off, Sean. But yes, your tactics are now being found out, and you've got no idea. You've got absolutely, utterly no idea, Sean, that your tactics are stinking to high heaven. Because all you're doing, especially at home, mate, you're going 4-4-2, and you're ultra defensive. Right? I'm sorry. In the second half, we should have gone for it against Brighton, and we dropped back. And what was the point of putting Ashley Barnes on? That was the first mistake you made against Brighton last week. Look at the bench yesterday. Right. This is the problem we've got. This is why we might now end up being relegated if we don't find 4 or 5 quality players, including a striker. We've got 2 out of 4 strikers badly out of form. Okay. Let me have a look at what was on the bench. We had 2 injuries which we weren't told about until the day of the match. That was to Westwood and to Vidra. It's nice to know that our club looks after its fans, doesn't it, Burnley FC? Honestly. Anyway, this is the bench, right? I'm not joking you here. Our bench was pathetic yesterday, right? Listen to this. Hennessy, goalkeeper. Will Norris, another goalkeeper. Why are we having 2 effing goalkeepers? Thomas, an untried youngster. Collins, a £12 million white elephant as it's turning out. Eric Peters, who's past his sell-by date with all due respect. He came on as a substitute trying to impact the game. At 2-0 down. He can't play on the wing. He's too, with all due respect to him, he's too slow. Bardsley, who's another pensioner basically. Jay Rodriguez, badly out of form. Richardson, who's not good enough. And Dodson. Johnson, is it? I don't know. Johnson or whatever he's called. A 17-year-old. Are we putting our faith in these untried people and out-of-form players on the bench? Have you not got a plan B, Sean? Or is that beyond you now? Right, because every man and his dog, guys, know now, everyone else in the Premier League can now work out that we will always play week after week after week 4-4-2. Yeah? 4-4-2, yeah? A blind man and his dog could, a blind man and his dog could have worked that one out. It's just to be perfectly frank with you guys, I'm beyond words. I mean, we were promised the world from Pace. Now, has he given Sean Dyche the funds? I mean, he's just spent 213 million on a goalkeeper and a defender. Well, really, the numbers that we really need are in the midfield area, on the wings, and in central midfield, and up front. It's not rocket science, Sean. We don't need any more defenders. What we need is midfielders, a couple of new wingers, Because God forbid if Goodmanson or McNeil get injured, we're knackered. We're absolutely, completely and utterly knackered, right? I mean, I've heard rumours that Will Hughes could come. He'd actually help a little bit because he's got Premier League experience, 70 games behind him for Watford and countless dozens. I think he'll do well at a club like ours. We're still in for that Cornet apparently from Lyon. Hopefully we can get him through the door, but that's only 2. We need another winger, and I think we need a striker. If I was bloody Sean, I'd be on the blower to Andre Gregg saying, come on, all's forgiven, come back and help us stay up. We need pace, desperately. Andre Gray is not getting the game time at Watford, or it doesn't seem to be. I don't know if he's moved on or not. But he seems to, if he's still at Watford, he seems to be an outcast. Now, I'd bring him back in a heartbeat. Because he's a goal scorer. And he proved in his one season in the Premier League with Burnley, 10 goals is not a bad return. Admittedly, some of them came from penalties, but he can still score goals, and he adds something a little bit different. Now, if we could get 4 or 5 players of that quality, and I'm not expecting Burnley to go out and sign Lino. Well, they can't sign Lino because he's gone to PSG. But I'm not exactly asking us to sign Neymar Jr. or sign Antoine Griezmann. We couldn't afford their wages for a kick-off. But what I'm saying to you is, if we could just sign some players that offer a little bit more different to what Dyche is serving up. Jack Cork's passed it, with all due respect. We missed Westy yesterday, I felt. McNeil is good for 60 odd minutes and then sort of like last half an hour just doesn't try. And I love Dwight McNeil. I think he's going to be a class player, but he needs to start being switched on for 90 minutes. We were shocking at the back yesterday. Tarkowski completely lost his temper with Matt Lawton for not closing down. I mean, the list is endless. Dyche doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, listen, all respect to Dyche, what he's done for Burnley Football Club cannot be understated enough. 2 promotions, kept us in the Premier League for 6 years. I'm grateful for that. But I think now is the time for Dyche to wise up and actually smell the fecking coffee, because quite frankly, he's been found out. He was found out last year. The only reason we stayed up last year is because we nicked 9 points from Liverpool, Everton and Arsenal away from home. That's the only reasons we stayed up last season. Not because Fulham were crap, not because Sheffield United were crap, and not because West Brom were crap, right? It's because we won those 3 games. And I have to say, on 2 of those occasions, we actually ragged it, to be quite honest. We got lucky. We certainly got lucky last year at Anfield. We got lucky with an own goal at Arsenal at the back end, towards the back end of last year, back end of 2020. Everton, we won well. But, we stayed up. Okay, it was 10 points we stayed up by. We finished 17th. That's the bottom line. And if we hadn't won those 3 matches, as I just alluded to, then I think we would have been in the Championship this season. No word of a lie. So Dyche needs to get his effing finger out, because it's not good enough. Our strength in depth isn't good enough. The 1 to 11, you can pick the same 11 all you want, but if you haven't got game changers on the bench, what's the point? You can't expect the first 11 of Burnley to keep running for 90 minutes. There's no doubt that probably Hennessy will get a game on Wednesday against Newcastle. To be quite frank, I hope we go out the League Cup, because to be quite honest, we haven't got the squad depth to win anything this year, unless we start really putting the thing in the transfer window. I mean, if we have a good, maybe it's a blessing if we go out against Newcastle on Wednesday, because we can put our eggs in the league until January, and if we're doing okay, well enough in the league, God forbid we can have a go at winning. We can have a go at having an FA Cup run. That's my hope anyway. But wishful thinking, it has to be said. But I'm disappointed with the start that we've made, and I think I look at it logically and I think we're just not good enough. We're not good enough in any single department of the or facet of the game, and it's so disappointing. It's so soul destroying as well. Because I look at it this way and I think we should be winning games quite easily and quite comfortably, and we're not, and it's disappointing. And well, we should have won comfortably against Brighton. Liverpool, I expected it yesterday because Liverpool, with the crowd at Anfield, are a totally different animal to the one we faced at Anfield last season with no fans. So I expected us to get beat yesterday rather, and so it proved. But what it proved is that it does highlight a very particular feeling of Sean Dyche, that our bench leaves a lot to be desired in terms of depth and what can change a game for us. And at the moment, I see very little in terms of quality coming off the bench. Gerrard, as I say, is out of form. You've got 33 pluses in Peters and Bardsley, 2 goalkeepers. I mean, the faults, that just shows the lack of depth, and we've been having this issue now for nearly 2 years now. It is simply and utterly not good enough. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. If Dyche has got a war chest, stop looking for the right player. Just get players in that can change games. Get them in there. Doesn't matter who they are. Will Hughes would be nice. Get Cornet in from Lyon. Get another right winger to compliment Goodmanson. Get Andre Gray back. I love Andre Gray back because I think he did well when he was with us, and I think give him first team football, he will score goals. I've got no qualms about that. I've no doubts about it. I think they're very realistic sort of transfers that we need to get in, because if we don't, we will be relegated by Christmas. I'll have you now. So Sean Dyche, if you're watching, get your finger out and start signing players now. Got it? Yep. Great. Right. That's it. Right, that's it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like, obviously. Let me know what kind of players that you think that Burnley need in that window before it closes in about 8 days' time. You've heard what I've had to say. Let me know what you think needs to be done there with the bench, because quite frankly that is a disgrace. But there you go. So leave a like, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Just a couple more things on a positive note before I go. 2 matches coming up on the commentary with JB Sports this weekend. I'll be on the air live at 4:20 because I'm going to be hosting the big clash of the weekend, Arsenal against Chelsea, from the Emirates Stadium. Live alternative commentary of that one. Mike Harneman will be commentating, I will be hosting. And then join Russ Vernon tomorrow night for live commentary of West Ham's match with Leicester City. Match should be an absolute thriller minute, that one. I'm not sure who the commentator is, but I'm sure you enjoy it. I'm sure you enjoy it anyway, nonetheless. But Russ will be hosting the game tomorrow night. And on Trevor Sports YouTube channel, me and Trevor I've actually I've revised our roles as Trevor Benno and Trevor Boycott to bring you some virtual 100 cricket international style. We've got England against India from Trent Bridge, virtual 100 ball cricket for you this evening, and I think that's going to be on and around about 7 o'clock, I think 6:30, 7 o'clock tonight. So plenty of good stuff coming up on TCO, JB Sports, and of course my good friend at Trevor Matt at Trevor Sports as well. So thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry it's another uncheerful video about Burnley again, but I had to say what I thought, and listening to Sean Dyche, it just hits home that he's just too picky. There's been picky and there's been Dyche picky, isn't there? You couldn't make it up. 2 goalkeepers on the bench, unbelievable. But anyway, if you did like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, hit the notifications and then you'll be notified of what videos are coming up next and what commentary games are coming up next. But for the time being, until about 4:20 tonight, this afternoon, I will bid you a phone goodbye, and I'll see you guys later.